Anybody doing reminder texts or phone calls?
Joel, is that pump organ?
Oh. Sorry, Ted, I muted you because we just got quorum. Oh, now let me.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, take that. Yep. No, yeah, that's for you.
All right, at 7:03, we will call the meeting to order. Since it's a special meeting, I'm hoping we don't have any additions or deletions, but are there any? No, okay, great. Would anyone like to speak privilege of the floor? The public hearings are open for both projects. So if you are, or for both developments, so if you would like to speak to a specific development review, you can hold your comments until we get to that project and do the public hearing. But if there's general privilege of the floor, would anyone like to speak now? No. Okay. On to the development review. So first on our agenda is 164 Yapel Road. Our public hearing is still open from the previous meeting. So we will take any additional public hearing comments at this time and then proceed from there. Would anyone like to speak on Yapel Road?
Did anybody send in? I know we've had people in the past send like emails or letters. Nothing in writing.
Nobody sent anything in on this project.
Okay. Seeing none, I will.
Oh, here's somebody's unmuting. William Schaff.
No, I'm more here for the Nelson Road, Troy Road thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nope, that's okay.
If you could just stay muted until then, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never been to these.
Okay.
I apologize if I'm not doing it right. Is the Yellow Road I just want to know what the Yellow Road project is that you're referring to. Yes, it's a mail, I got one for both. What do they plan on doing with you?
Yeah.
Is there a microphone on that person?
The question is just what is the project the development project that we're discussing?
We'll pull it up on the screen here.
Yep, so this project,
We get a lot of things.
Yep.
Get rid of a couple of these things.
Yep, so we'd reviewed this a little in the last two meetings, but it was previously two plats that were purchased by one owner and then consolidated, and they wish to re-subdivide them to sell the one plat to the other neighbor. So it's basically just re-subdividing something that had previously been subdivided and was consolidated. Okay, any other comments or questions on public hearing? Okay, seeing none, we will close the public hearing on 164 Yapel or Yapel. And then our final action, if anyone would like to make a motion for the drafted resolution
And I-
for subdivision.
And I actually did make one edit to the resolution. It was just that the public hearing, instead of it being held on August 20th, it's held from August 20th through September 3rd. But everything else in it was the same. I've got copies here if board members just want to have that and remove that or modify it as needed.
Did you want me to talk?
No, not yet. We'll
Sorry.
get to that project shortly. No, that's okay, Betsy. All right.
Ready for the
I'm sure that we.
All I changed was the very
Yeah.
last whereas clause, just saying that the public hearing stayed open 20th through September 3rd and, but I didn't add in there, but just that no public comments were received on this one.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve it as written.
I'll second that.
Colleen?
Yeah. I
Oh.
second it. Yes.
Carolyn? Yes.
David?
Yes.
Schreiber? Yes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay. Now moving on to the 405 Troy Road. So this is another subdivision
Same change.
of the parcel, with one smaller lot on
Oh,
the Nelson Road side, and then the larger lot connected, I think, to both, right?
right.
Yes, with a large portion of the back currently under review for a conservation easement with the town. Which is not part of the subdivision, but just something that has been discussed as we've been reviewing the project. So there's the one smaller parcel, parcel A, and then the remainder of the property would be one larger parcel to remain. Okay, public hearing is open from the previous, if anyone would like to speak.
Now is a good time?
Go for it, Betsy.
Hi, hi Kelly.
Hi.
How many acres is the lot on Nelson Road?
It's 10 acres.
Oh, is it 10 acres? And so 2 to 3 houses probably, because I live right across the street from that and I'm just curious.
No, this zone district is rural 1, which only allows for 1 dwelling unit per lot. Doesn't matter if the lot is 100 acres. Unless you go through sort of some other kind of clustering of your development rights. This property owner though is doing a process in tandem though with the town. He is placing the entire 68-acre parcel. So parcel A and parcel B, he's placing the entire property in a conservation easement, which will essentially restrict development in perpetuity.
Okay.
So, their plan in doing, him and his sister, who were bequeathed this property from their mother, they're looking to sell both these properties. And what they're working on in this conservation easement is to allow 1 house on parcel A and 1 additional house on parcel B. So in total, there would be, so there's an existing house there now. So in total, there'd be
Wow.
2 more houses in this area.
But one on Nelson,
Yeah.
the additional one
correct.
would be on Troy.
Well, it's hard
Off
to,
of Troy.
actually,
Could
that
It could use that.
could come in from Nelson, so we
Okay.
we don't know. And that's up to the future buyer.
Okay.
If you do want to speak, if you could pull up a chair, and we have a microphone here, and it's, yeah, even though we can hear you, people on Zoom land can't.
I was just, had a question with your statement. So in addition to the house that's already there on Troy, they could add another house.
Right, that's what, yeah.
Okay, so there's already one there.
I get it.
Okay, they could add another one.
Nope.
Yep. And that might not even happen, it's so Danby zoning, could allow this property to have at least 6 houses in total because of the size, it's a 10-acre density, one unit per 10 acres. But this property owner, they don't want to maximize the developmentability of this property. They want to limit it to at most 3 units, 1 on this parcel A on Nelson, and then 2 at most on parcel B. And they would be right in this view that we have here. Everything in the back from the pond going north would be restricted strictly to either agriculture and forest management zone. And then further back, there are some easements as you go north. I can kind of scroll north. There's some easements that go through. They would be restricted for complete protection. So absolutely no development in that back area. And that's a really unique thing that the property owner comes forward to want to completely restrict development in perpetuity on this property through an easement. But that's a separate process from the subdivision. But good questions nonetheless.
I can't see participants. I don't know if anyone else has their hand raised or anything. Does anyone else have any questions or comments for the public hearing? Go ahead, Joel.
I just want to add to what Greg just said, which is that although the larger parcel can have 2 dwellings on it, it cannot be subdivided to accommodate 2. In other words, there can be an additional house built, but it will remain on the 1 lot.
But why? Couldn't they normally divide again?
Yeah, but
But the easement.
easement will restrict future
Okay.
subdivision.
Right, so this owner could have, but now, once this is approved, the next owner can.
Correct.
Yeah, got it.
I didn't
Right.
follow what Joel said. What was he? It was saying that the second house on B,
Won't be another subdivision of the property. It'll just be another
Oh, another
building
house on- okay.
on that property.
okay.
Yeah, and what's described in the easement is the residential and active use zone, which is, well, perhaps you could describe exactly where the line is, Greg, but it's below the pond, right? Goes basically across.
Yeah, it's 13 acres up front. I can certainly pull it up. People are curious.
Are there
Yeah,
any? Yeah.
So this is an aerial of the property. A little under 14 acres would be in the residential and active zone. The confusing thing is, I don't want to sort of deviate from this process the planning
Right.
board's looking at, but this is what the easement lines will not match the subdivision lines.
Subdivision.
Doesn't quite matter. But then there's a second zone, agriculture and forest management zone, that used to have agriculture on it in the middle. In the back, it's just sort of second growth woods, and then an easement. And this is beautiful, beautiful property in here. We walked it, gorges, and I mean, you really couldn't build anything back there, but it's really, really nice gorges. These are the headwaters, or part of them, to 6 Mile Creek. There's likely rare plant and animal species that are found in the preserve just to the north of this, in the town of Ithaca. So it's great that this is just a restricted forest zone. So that's that. I'll stop sharing that though, just to give people an idea.
Okay. Any additional comments or questions? Nope. Okay. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Any other board members have any comment? Okay. When we only need to make our final action, right? We've
Correct.
done all the other pieces. Okay. Would anyone like to make a resolution? Oh, do we need to acknowledge the other letter in this
Oh,
meeting?
Yeah, yeah, so there was somebody wrote in, that they were concerned about. Yeah, I can just read it in from 315 Troy Road. Mark Fisher and Mary Fisher and Steve Ryan. They live at Troy Road 315 and wanted to comment on the subdivision proposal for 405 Troy Road. Unfortunately, we cannot attend the meeting. We're concerned that this would affect the water table, which is already less than minimal. In 2016, our well and others went dry. And to this day, lack of water is a problem. Our neighbors have to truck in water frequently. Others have had to frack their wells. Any additional housing would tax the water table more and maybe even cause failure. So unless the town wants to hook up to the municipal water system, this seems like a bad idea. Thank you for listening. Mary Fisher and Steve Ryan, 315 Troy Road.
I mean, they'd have to have a water test done.
Yes, so this is outside the limits for your
We're not the health department.
right,
Well, and we're not reviewing development on this
Yeah,
right.
project. We're just reviewing the
There-
subdivision.
There's no mechanism to require a property owner to prove that they have water availability. That is a field that is wholly preempted by the state of New York.
Mhm.
It is not given to local approving agencies. So I suggested to Adam that it might just be nice for him to do some test drills. You know, just to, and that might help out a future buyer to say, hey, we did some test drills and we found that there's 30 gallons a minute or something. And let them know, but that's completely up to Adam and his sister. It's a buyer beware situation.
Right.
Is there a way to drill like a small hole or something?
yeah,
I've
I mean,
never,
a
I've never
test-
seen an actual test drill. I just-
yeah. they
To
do.
see if there's water down there?
There's a way to test.
So they don't have to do the whole
It
6
is-
inch.
But for them to do it for this, like, there's costs associated.
Yeah.
The buyer usually assumes those costs as part of their contingencies.
Yeah, I just, when you said test drill, I've never heard of that.
Call it pearl
You have to buy
shell.
really
They did
hard
for
hit
gas
for your
too.
drill and you just.
You know, there's a way to drill down, in other words, without the whole 6 inch hole. Is
I don't
what
remember
you're
how-
saying, to see if,
I don't remember how
or
big they
there's
are,
a
but they
water
just
witch.
Refill it or whatever.
That's, or a water witch.
Yeah, with dowsing. Steve. Yeah, people swear by that.
Okay, now that we read, thanks, I forgot about the
Yeah,
letter. So
thanks for-
everything is,
And that's in
all
files.
public comment is on the table and
So do
been
you
publicly
close the
reviewed.
meeting first, the hearing first, or? do we-
Yeah, I kind of did preemptively,
Oh,
so I'll
okay.
close it again after we've read the letter. If anyone would like to make a motion on the subdivision.
I'll move that, the subdivision be approved as written.
I'll second.
Bergman,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes. Okay. That is the duration of today's meeting. We will get the signed documents to the applicant. I'll sign those now and you can reach out to Greg if you have any comments about next steps on how to process your subdivision. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Do this all again in 2 weeks.
It'll be just as fast. No, no, no.